The family, a proclamation to the world, says, "We declare that God's commandment for his children to multiply and replenish the earth remains in force." It has become a stereotype for Mormons to have a lot of kids. It is a commandment to have children, and it seems that most young Mormon couples have children generally pretty early. But I personally have found some benefits from waiting a little longer than normal to have children. So I want to tell you about the benefits of waiting to have children. I have been married to my husband for 3.5 years, and we don't have children yet. That may not seem like a very long time to some of you, but for living in a heavily populated Mormon area, it is a long time for not having children yet. Most of all my friends that have been married as long as I have kids now. The decision of when to have children and how many is between the husband, wife, and God. But there may be a few more things to consider and to think about before making this extremely important and life-changing decision. I will talk about the benefits of not having children right away, dealing with finances, education, and for your marriage. I was 19 when I got married, and my husband was 23 years old. We were young, and we were still in college. We didn't have very much money, and especially not enough money to support a baby. Elder Neil L. Anderson quotes a Christian woman's blog that says, "Children rank way below college, below world travel for sure, below the ability to go out body at the gym, below any job you may have or hope to get." I agree with this quote. In our society, this is how the world views children. I don't think this is the right way to view children, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with waiting a little bit to have children. But I do believe that this doesn't mean that everyone needs to have children while they're in college. And I also believe that we should be able to adequately provide for our basic needs. There are many times that very much money, they still buy the iPads and spend money in other places when they have kids and maybe multiple kids. There are statistics that say it would cost over $188,000 to support a child from birth to age 18. That is over $10,000 a year. In reality, I don't think it really costs that much, but it definitely shows that having children is expensive. And I'm grateful that I haven't had to struggle in my marriage financially, and that I'm able to save up money for the future and just for anything that's unexpected that might come up. In addition to being able to provide financially for our basic needs, a degree helped. When my mom told me to wait to have kids until I was finished with school, my mom didn't get a degree or go to very much college. She had children early and ended up having to go back to school when we were young. She said it was very hard to go to school and take care of kids at the same time, and she did night school as well. And it didn't have to be so hard for her to do that if she would have gotten it before she had kids. Now, many mothers do go to school and they graduate, and I definitely admire these college graduates a little bit more than the rest, because I know that's very difficult. I know I couldn't do it myself. But there is the other side to it where they don't go back to school after having children. I've had friends that do that as well. And I think education is very important, especially for women. In a quote, it says, "We do live in turbulent times. Often the future is unknown. Therefore, it behooves us to prepare for uncertainties. Statistics reveal that at some time, for a variety of reasons, you find yourself in the role of financial provider. I urge you to pursue your education and learn marketable skills so that should a situation arise, you are prepared to provide." This quote is saying that you have to before you have kids, But it is always good to be prepared for things that might happen where you might find yourself having to provide financially for your family. You just never know if something will happen to your husband. They could get injured, lose their job, or even die. And this leaves you with kids to also to provide for them financially. This is pretty much the main reason why I am getting my degree, so that I can provide for my family if I have to. A college education will also help me to teach my children as well. L. Tom Perry talks about his mother when he says, "The scope of mother's teaching included both secular and spiritual lessons." I know that my degree will not only help me in my career, but also when I'm teaching my children. The last topic I want to talk about is the marriage. Looking back now on the last 3.5 years of my marriage, I have found this one to be pretty important personally. I have loved the time that I've been able to spend with my husband, the alone time that we've had, because having commitment and you can't go back on that. And we have learned so much more about each other and have been able to grow closer to each other so that we can be more prepared for when we do have children. We've changed the years that we've been as well, and we've been able to change together. I feel like there is more to life than just having and raising babies, because that's what I will be doing after these few years when I do decide to have kids. And personally, I want to travel a little bit, go on a couple cruises, maybe check off a few things on my bucket list before I do have kids, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And by doing these things before, along with getting my bachelor's degree and becoming a little bit more stable, I can make sure that my kids have my full attention and that I don't have any regrets as well. And then we can also do some of those fun things together as a family. In conclusion, everyone has their own time when they are ready to have children. I have just found some reasons in my own experience to why it can be good to wait to have instead of having them so quickly. Children are wonderful blessings from God, which is why this subject should not be taken lightly. The most important part is to wait until the right time for you and your husband. No matter what everyone else is doing, no matter if everyone is having kids at the time or what, it needs to be so that you can also give your children the best possible you and be the most prepared for them. A quote by Angela Schwint says, "While we try to teach our children all about life, our children teach us what life is about." And I do believe that, but having children can come at a later time in life as well.